There's the opening bell at the big board. It is video game platform Roblox celebrating its direct listing at the NASDAQ. It's a PWP Forward Acquisition Corp, a blank check company led by and focused on women. Leslie, I am curious to know about your thoughts behind the direct listing. It hasn't been an army of companies that have chosen that, but Palantir and Slack, two big examples, and certainly this will be another.
Yeah, and Roblox initially didn't choose a direct listing. They had every intention of going public through a traditional IPO back in December. And what's remarkable about that is they looked at the IPOs of other Silicon Valley venture-backed companies and how they were performing in the aftermarket. Usually you get a little skittish around the traditional IPO process when other IPOs are performing poorly. In this case, it was the Airbnb and the DoorDash IPO that really spooked the company. That's according to sources I've spoken with around this one. And they said, we don't want to see our stock soar like this because we're worried about what it might mean for employees who had the option of selling some of their shares at the IPO price, looking at the opportunity cost of what might happen if that stock soared. So instead, they decided to punt the listing. They did a private placement back in January that valued this company at $30 billion, instead opting for a direct listing, which, kind of does away with a lot of this back and forth with the roadshow, trying to find an IPO price, allocating shares to, a concentrated, hopefully, if it's a good deal, concentrated group of long-only mutual funds. That's usually the goal among the underwriters, and instead opted for a direct listing, which will be interesting to see, David, today, because, obviously GameStop has been, the darling of the retail investor. Here's another gaming-oriented company, obviously totally different business model, but fits into that whole kind of gaming mentality, that has really attracted a lot of people to GameStop.
Yeah. What comes to mind, actually, Leslie, though, is Palantir, which was the last major direct listing, and also has become sort of a favorite in some ways. We know that stock. But you can take a look. It's been on a bit of a roller coaster ride. As we take a look at GameStop shares, 278, yet again making those moves. But take a look at Palantir, because I do mention it, Leslie. You covered that closely as well. A direct listing. Listen, you've got to find the selling shareholders as well that you need. But that is interesting to watch in terms of its performance, which, as you see, it hit as high as almost $40 a share. After being priced, I forget where did that hit? Do you remember, Leslie?
I don't remember their reference price.
Where the reference price was.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.